It's not about how you differ from your competitors. It's about the difference you make to people's lives that should be your focus. Hello and welcome to Brandtuned, the show for entrepreneurs where we discuss personal and business brands to give you ideas and inspiration to stand out, win business, and be heard in a noisy world. I'm Shireen Smith, lawyer, author, and curious business owner, keen to uncover what moves the needle in branding. Topics I explore include how the brand impacts your success, how to design a brand that has legally distinctive visual elements and works so you reach success and have more time or more money or less stress. I also explore the role of intellectual property and brand protection and monetizing your brand using franchising or licensing. Subscribe to find out more. So what's going on for you? I'm really excited to have discovered the Fast 800 diet still because I've never had such rapid success with a diet before because, I've lost 3 kilos in a week. Admittedly, this was recent weight I'd gained, but given it took a year to pile on, it's great to know that once you resolve to take action, it only takes a week to counteract the effects of a year. A diet is for a temporary period. So I've been thinking, why do we humans find it so difficult to tolerate temporary discomfort given the huge gains we get? Why can't we delay gratification? At this point in my life, this is my focus, along with creating this podcast, which I'm enjoying hugely. So now on to this week's episode. So this is Brandtuned, episode number 29. Today, I'm finishing the discussion around why have a brand strategy for your business. I cover values, thinking about how to cut through to people given our limited attention spans in a noisy world, and motivating team with your brand purpose and values. In part 1 of the Brand Strategy podcast, we saw that your strategy informs your business journey and should include your intellectual property strategy. Strategy is something you use long term to inform your decisions. It's very important for building a business because internally your vision, mission, or purpose and values, those you want the business to live by, are the foundation for motivating and directing your team. Knowing your brand purpose and how you want to leave customers feeling equips your team better to know how to reach on-brand decisions in their jobs. In terms of your values, think about what deep beliefs you cherish above all else. What are you never willing to give up in order to achieve your mission for the business? What is sacrosanct to the point that you will forego extra profits rather than ignore it? Values can include issues such as integrity and trustworthiness. They can also encompass lighter issues such as having fun. To make sure your values provide a key tool for employees, it helps to look at how successful organizations have used their values to hire employees and motivate their performance. Zappos is a well-known example. Just Google their name and you will soon come across their 10 values set out in a manifesto-type statement. They focus on ensuring that everyone who is hired is filtered through their values and the purpose they're trying to achieve. Everyone has to be aligned with the values and mission of the organization. They use their values to create a very successful online store for shoes, of all things. Now, if you don't create a culture where your values are aligned towards your purpose, it's much more difficult to ensure the business becomes known for the attributes you want to be known for. Think about what is your overarching ethos or the values by which you want to approach everything you do in your business. Your brand values determine what you will and won't offer, where you play, what you stand for. It's best understood by some examples. In 2009, Cook was asked about Apple's strategy towards the booming netbook market, where many PC companies were introducing low-cost sub-notebooks and chasing low-margin sales. Cook's answer holds the clue to Apple's brand values. He said, "For us, it's about doing great products. And when I look at what is being sold in the netbook space today, I see cramped keyboards, terrible software, junky hardware, very small screens, and just not a consumer experience, not something that we would put the Mac brand on, quite frankly. And so it's not a space as it exists today that we're interested in, nor do we believe that customers in the long term would be interested in. It's a segment we would choose not to play in." So, having thought about your vision, mission, and values, you can drill down more into details, such as the specific product or service you're going to offer. How do you want to leave people feeling when they use your product or service? People apparently buy why you sell the products you sell. They buy the values you stand for because they see those reflected in themselves, in what they stand for. For example, if they're concerned about the environment and your product packaging and approach stresses the importance of its environmental friendliness, this message is going to resonate with them much more. If someone believes that their branding should be legally distinctive, they're more likely to want to work with my business as rights to get their brand strategy sorted than if they don't particularly value or care about law or just find the idea of it boring. Unfortunately, there are many people out there who do switch off when they hear that something involves legal. It's about the solution, the difference you will make in people's lives. Even if people are looking for a product or service, the thing they're looking for is the outcome they can expect. In other words, if they're looking to knock a hole in the wall, it's not the hammer that they care about so much as what they will get, the outcome, such as the picture on the wall or shelves they can put their books on in order to better organize themselves. So it's best to avoid talking about your product or service, that is the hammer, or its features or benefits. Instead, talk about how using your product or service will make the customer feel. It's not about how you differ from your competitors. It's about the difference you make to people's lives that should be your focus. When you talk to people, don't explain how your product or service differs. Instead, speak to what it is that people are looking to achieve. How will the product or service benefit their lives? What is the difference, the true value beyond the actual product or service that you bring to people? Talk about that difference and value you bring, the outcome people can expect when they choose your business. People want something that will make their lives better. That's what you need to talk about and reinforce rather than your product or service. What will your product or service do for the customer? What will it make them feel? Talk to them from the perspective of the value your product or service brings to their lives. Discuss their hopes and dreams. Your values form the basis of your mission and vision statement. How would you define your vision for your business to yourself, to your team, and to external audiences? How will they know what your business is all about? People turn to visual design work far too soon, so avoid the temptation to commission new designs before you've thoroughly thought through your brand strategy. Do bear in mind you may need to do your thinking over a prolonged period. All too often, the tendency is to turn to branding when people are unclear about the path ahead. Thinking through how you want your business to be known isn't easy, but it's important work when developing your brand strategy. Only after you've finalized your own thinking is it time to turn to creatives to help turn your strategy possibly into a better strategy, but also then into a visual identity. Before then, keep notes on your thinking and revisit these questions periodically. Make time to work on your business rather than in it. Become crystal clear on the answers to the following questions. What do you do? Who do you do it for? Why does it matter? And what do you stand for? Often, there is no urgent need to change your brand designs, as I've already said, if you already have a visual identity. Better leave designs out of it when you want to rebrand and just focus on the business questions you need to think through. Also, consider how your visual identity can support the brand you're building. A brand needs mental shortcuts. It's generally known for something. So, what is the brand promise you want to make? How do you want to be perceived in the world? That should be your focus. The brand strategy is essentially about creating a growth platform for your business. It's about your approach to marketing and involves being clear on who your brand is to be and where you're going in terms of the end goal of your business. A clear strategy equips you to make better decisions on all sorts of aspects of the brand, such as your sub-brands. Once you have your values and are clear about your purpose, consider how you will ensure that your team embody it and live the purpose. Everybody plays a role. Your why should be aligned with the people you serve and your team. As part of your brand strategy, consider what your brand personality will be and how will you live your values and work towards your purpose? Are you just saying you have values or do you really have them? This is about the culture you create. It's the set of behaviors you need to demonstrate consistently so you know you're living by those values and you and your team are all driving and striving towards that purpose, that why statement. The personality is important. Everyone in the organization needs to understand the role they play and the behaviors they need to have. They need to know how their performance will be evaluated based on this culture, these personality traits that your company is all about. This aspect of brand strategy takes you into a different realm, that of leadership and running an organization, creating a culture. As you work on your brand strategy, keep a notebook to jot down your draft ideas so you have a place where your best thinking is and you can gradually refine your ideas. Finally, consider what communication topics you're going to cover to support the overall impression your brand conveys. To get cut through for your business, bear in mind the limitations of the human mind for taking in more and more information. Our minds just can't cope unless the messages we receive are simple ones that fit with what our minds already know and accept. The average mind can only soak up more information at the expense of what's already there. That means we need to oversimplify our communications. Therefore, to make our communications effective in the face of overload of information out there in a noisy world takes some thought. The only way the mind can cope with the barrage of information hitting it daily is to seek out simple messages. Complexity overwhelms the mind. The average reaction to the abundance of information is to accept less and less of what is so freely available. I'm sure you've heard it before. Less is more. This is certainly true in communication. You have to simplify your messages and then simplify them some more if you want to be heard. To make a long-lasting impression in the consumer's mind and to stay top of mind, it's necessary to repeat your messages and use your brand elements consistently. That's all about how you drive your brand strategy, which I'm not covering in today's episode. When you want to communicate your product or service to consumers, it's vital to select the material that has the best chance of getting through. Only when you understand the nature of the problem that our noisy society presents to your brand's ability to be heard can you be selective about how you communicate your offerings to the world. An effective brand strategy should provide a central unifying idea around which all behaviour, actions, and communications of the business can be aligned. It should work across products and services and will be effective over time. The best strategies are so powerful that they deflect the competition. They're easy to talk about whether you are the CEO or an employee. That's it for this week. Do subscribe to the Brandtuned newsletter to get weekly updates. I'd also love to get your feedback. Just send me an email to info@brandtuned.com. Finally, if you liked the episode, please do share it with your friends and colleagues and review it on iTunes or whichever platform you use to listen to podcasts. If you leave us a 5-star review, it means more people will listen and we can spread the word much more quickly about the podcast. Thank you and bye for now.